Looking at the 3 best Milwaukee tools for woodworkers. Now 2 of them are just bone stock the way they come, including this thing, whatever that is. And 1 of them I've added a nice accessory to. Let's check them out. We'll start with the compact drill, move on to the jigsaw, and then finish things up with that trim router along with that special accessory that I've added. This is the 3601, and this is one of those things that doesn't have a ton of fancy features, but in a recent test I did looking at a bunch of different compact drills, this one actually stood out from the pack, and it's just because the controls are just really reliable and they're not too difficult to operate. It's got plenty of power, decent light, and I just love their battery systems. On this one I tend to prefer the CP 2.0. And even with that battery, this thing still only weighs in at just a little over 3 pounds 2 ounces. And then just a size comparison with some of the other drills I sometimes use. This is the 3601, and here's the 2905 full-size drill. This is the CP 3.0 battery, so a little bigger battery, but overall this thing just has a bit more heft to it. And that's the reason I find myself reaching for this compact model more than anything else. But this one's more a direct competitor, Dewalt's DCD 794. This is their Atomic Series drill, so size on that, very comparable. Performance is similar as well. I just found some of the adjustments a little bit difficult to turn on this. They're just kind of stiff initially, so these do loosen up in time, but this one felt good right out of the box. Yep, this one really works well for me for just day-to-day things around the shop. Of course, I'll have links for you down in the description if you want to check things out on your own, but sub up and stay tuned so you don't miss my next video. And then onto that jigsaw that made my top 3 list. And this one has some interesting features, that could confuse you the first time you see it, so let's check it out. This one's the 2737 model, and it's got variable speed right from the trigger, so there's no separate dial on that to control the motor speed. There's also a 3-step orbital setting here, depending on how aggressive you want that blade action to be, or you can just have it on 0 if you want the blade to run true straight up and down. There are 3 pieces that you may not be familiar with in a typical jigsaw. This is a clear blade guard, here's a clear splinter guard, and then just a dust collection accessory. So these 3 all come with the kit, even if you get it as just a bare tool. This blade guard is not the easiest thing to install. I found it best just to turn the jigsaw upside down and hook it on one side, and then just to press the tab to click it in on the other side, but it will fight you a little bit, so just see if you can click it into place like that. And that splinter guard just slides in from the front of the tool to keep chip out in check if you're working on something that's prone to that, like plywood. But looking at this a little closer, I did find something odd about the way that installs. So you just press that on from the front, pretty simple there. But what I noticed is this should be flush with the shoe of the tool, and it is, as long as you have this plastic part removed, but I like to use that plastic piece for decreased friction, so in that instance, this splinter guard would actually be raised above the work surface. So for that guard to really do anything, you'd actually have to remove that plastic shoe and just use it with the metal base, which you certainly can do, but again, not my preference. The mechanism to bevel the shoe is really nice. Just unlock that with the large lever and slide that forward. You can position it as needed and then just pull it back to lock it into the detent. So really easy to bevel that shoe as needed. Now, one thing to note, you will have to remove both the blade guard as well as the splinter guard if you want to make beveled cuts, but not a big deal there. And then another premium feature that I'm starting to see on more and more brands is this fan assist. So just slide it this way if you want to have the motor's exhaust blow over the cut line just to improve visibility. Or if you really want to keep your work clean, you can go with full-on dust collection. And that little anteater looking fitting just slides right into the back of the tool, and there's nothing to click in place. It's just an easy friction fit, and I found that was nice and sturdy and didn't tend to pull out. But it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't fit the gear you have, and for me it was a good fit for my most common 1.5-inch dust collection hose. And I also noticed it's a good fit for Rockler's small port dust collection hose if you happen to be running that setup. And then just a note about jigsaws in general before we move on to the trim router and that special accessory that I've added, and it just has to do with the size of the shoe. I've noticed in time these are getting bigger and bigger, and that can be a good thing for tool stability. In fact, the last corded jigsaw I had, the shoe was maybe 2/3 the size of this one. And even compared to the current XR Jigsaw, this Milwaukee looks like it might be a little bit bigger. Just slide this lever over to install your blade, but it's important to know that it only accepts a T-shank style blade. The other ones just won't work. And make sure your battery is nowhere near the tool when you're doing this. And a little CP 2.0, that's plenty of juice for this one. Then when you're done, it kind of says "Spatui" to the blade. And then finally, the 2723. This trim router is just so useful in the shop. So I'll show you what accessories this comes with. Plus, I'll compare it to another common cordless router. And the brushless motor on that means it spins down very quickly. I do like that. So common accessories that this will come with, even as a bare tool. You get your dust collection fitting. I'm going to be honest, I don't use that very much. When I'm using a trim router, I tend to just let it fly. There's the standard sub base that it comes with, and then an oversized sub base. Now, I was really excited about this one, and I thought this might be my main solution for edge profiling. Although it wasn't totally flat, even when I installed it on the tool, so I wound up upgrading to this Woodpeckers oversized unit, and that's just been a game changer for this little trim router. And this is a classic example of something you'll face all the time where there's just minimal router support. So that's where I like an oversized sub base, especially if it has a teardrop shape like this. Just really helps to improve stability. Another thing you'll get is an edge guide, and these I don't tend to use them. They're just not sturdy enough. So overall, the accessories on this probably isn't the highlight, but the tool itself goes toe-to-toe with anything I've got in the shop. So I do have Milwaukee's larger 1/2-inch M18 router, and that thing's incredible, fixed base or plunge base. But, you know, this is in a price point that more people are going to afford, and it's just super useful for just basic things like roundovers, so I probably use this quite a bit more. The number one competitor to this is probably the Dewalt 600, very popular trim router, and it is a good one as well. You know, both these look a little bit tall at the moment because I have them raised high enough with a bit in there so that they'll sit flat on my bench, but even still, the Milwaukee with a 2 ampere-hour battery compared to the Dewalt with a 2 ampere-hour battery sits a little bit lower, so it's actually a pretty compact tool. So these are just absolute standouts in the M18 line. If you're already on that battery platform, I'd say you do well by grabbing any of these, and I'll put links down in the description if you want to check them out.
Spatui.